Hey church, Ben here. This week we'll be wrapping up our Essential Church series. It's been a 5-week series looking at what does the church actually need to be considered essential and to be fulfilling the call that Jesus gave to his disciples, which is go therefore into all nations and make disciples. Guys, this week we're going to talk about discipleship, and I'm standing here in front of a couple of cabins which you probably recognize. They're all over Valley Forge National Park. They represent a unique time in our nation's history when we encamped here in Valley Forge to stop the British from advancing any further west than they already had. And the unique part about where I'm standing now is I'm at these cabins, yes, but just to my right is Washington's headquarters. General Washington was many things, but if you never thought about it this way, General Washington was an excellent disciple maker. He was making disciples. And right here in these cabins, they held his closest disciples. They were the ones that looked out for his family. They had been trained to the highest levels, and he trusted them the most. See, with discipleship, it's not possible to invest an equal amount of time in everybody. So for Washington, who had an army of thousands, it was not possible for him to disciple or train every single member of the Continental Army. But Washington chose a close group to work deeply with, to share with them everything in his life. He ate with them. He talked to them. He walked with them. They protected his family. They would have heard his family laughing, possibly arguing. He did life with them. And as an army commander, General Washington trained his soldiers how to survive through the winter. We know that from history. You can be a disciple of anything. The Army is one of the best organizations on the planet at making disciples. To become an Army commander, you go through basic training, and then you get enlisted and you get deployed. But on the way, you learn how and when to eat, how to tie your shoes, how to speak, how to react when you're given a command, what to do when the plan falls apart, how to dress, how to treat your brothers in the Army, and more. They stamp out disciples. And guys, the church is meant to be no different. We are meant to be making disciples. GVF's mission statement is to make disciples who make disciples. The Great Commission was to go therefore into all nations and make disciples. So guys, I want to end this week with this topic of discipleship and how important it is, how essential it is to our church. We need this in the church broadly, the post-pandemic church for sure. But guys, I think right now is such a great time to be investing in discipleship as a church. It's small numbers. You can walk through Valley Forge National Park. You can eat outside a restaurant. You can talk on the phone. You can Zoom. You can do life together in a variety of ways, in small groups, in love, in humility, in truth, making disciples. So this week we're going to look at 2 classic cases in the Bible of how to make a disciple. The Apostle Paul famously made a disciple in Timothy. There's 3 stages to his discipleship, but what you'll see at the end is that the Apostle Paul has made a disciple and released that disciple and now considers him to be a peer. We're also going to look at Jesus. Obviously, Jesus made 12 disciples who he spent time with deeply, intimately, personally, socially, in the temple courts and in the markets and at parties. He cooked fish with them. He walked with them. He did life with just 12, even though thousands were flocking towards Jesus. Again, it was not possible for Jesus to make disciples as deeply as humans need them to be to make a lasting impact with the masses. And not only did Jesus pick the 12, but as we'll hear on Sunday, Jesus even selected 3 within the 12 to be extremely intimate with. So we're going to learn a lot about this on Sunday. I hope you'll join us. I hope you've been getting a lot out of this Essential Church series. I know that I have. God's been doing a work in me, and I think that there is a lot of opportunities for us here in this crazy pandemic period that we find ourselves in to glorify God, to refine the church, and really come out the other side of this, whenever that is, with an essential church that glorifies God, that loves people, and ushers them into the kingdom of heaven. Guys, I love you. Look forward to seeing you in person on Sunday or online. I hope you join us. Stay safe. See you then.